Hi everybody, the theme of my project is analog and digital modulation. In recent several centuries, wireless communication has a huge impact to our lives. Mobile phones, radios, and a wireless network, which are generated from wireless communication, bring us a lot of convenience and creativity. In wireless communication technology, before transmitting signal in wireless channel, the signal must be modulated from low frequency to high frequency. Modulation is so important that I want to study it in details. In this paper, I will study modulation from the following several ways. Firstly, stating clearly the reason and the significance of modulation. Secondly, introducing specific methods of analog modulation and digital modulation. Finally, practicing signal modulation procedure in MATLAB environment. Now let me introduce two concepts. Signal. In communication system, one of the most important things is to transmit information. Here, information refers to languages, characters, images, data, and all kinds of valuable things we want others to receive. Signal is defined as the expression form and transmission carrier of information. In other words, information is the actual content of a signal. There are many classifications of signal. For example, according to actual application, we have TV signal, radar signal, and radio signal. In addition, in the aspect of time characteristic, we have determinant signal and stochastic signal. In this paper, I will pay attention to analog signal and digital signal. Analog signal is any continuous signal for which the time-varying feature of the signal is representation of some other time-varying quantity, while digital signal is a phasic signal that is a representation of a sequence of discrete values. Modulation. Modulation is an important procedure of signal transmission. It means conveying the low-frequency modulating signal that contains the useful information inside the high-frequency carrier signal, which can be easily transmitted in the air channel. There are many necessary reasons why signal needs to be modulated. Firstly, atmosphere layer is the air channel in wireless communication. For atmosphere, low-frequency signal will fade rapidly, while high-frequency signal can spread for a long distance. Secondly, the size of antenna is in direct proportion of signal's wavelength, so we tend to use high-frequency signal to reduce the length of antenna. Moreover, it is easy for us to realize frequency division multiplexing with high-frequency signal. By modulation, we can not only make the signal much easier to be transmitted in the channel, but also improve the reliability of the system. There are three main ways of modulation: amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and phase modulation. More specifically, AM, FM, and PM are common methods of analog signal modulation. ASK, FSK, and PSK are common methods of digital modulation. All these methods will be studied detailedly in this paper. Now I will introduce analog modulation. AM. Amplitude modulation means the amplitude of the carrier wave is varied in proportion to the waveform being transmitted. The modulation and demodulation procedures on this method are very simple. However, the modulated signal is kind of sensitive to the noise, so that some distortion may generate. Nowadays, this technology is still applied in some areas, such as medium-wave radio broadcasting and aircraft radio. FM. Frequency modulation means the encoding of information in a carrier wave by varying the instantaneous frequency of the wave. Frequency modulation has a strong ability to withstand noise. It is widely used in radio, radar, and seismic prospecting. PM. Phase modulation is a modulation pattern that encodes information as variations in the instantaneous phase of a carrier wave. Phase modulation is widely used in radio wave transmission and plays an important role in many technologies like Wi-Fi and GSM. Now I will introduce digital modulation, ASK. Essentially, digital modulation signal is a series of bit stream containing 0 and 1. We make the amplitude of carrier wave 0 to represent bit 0. Similarly, we make the amplitude of a carrier wave be a constant to represent bit 1. Like AM, ASK is sensitive to noise as well. FSK. This method means the digital information is transmitted through discrete frequency changes of a carrier wave. With this scheme, the 1 is called the mark frequency and the 0 is called the space frequency. FSK has a stronger ability to withstand noise than ASK. It is commonly used in caller ID and remote metering. MSK, the modulation method of GSM, is also a sort of FSK. PSK. To represent two binary figures, PSK is two different phases. Each phase is 180 degrees from the other one. Because the scheme of PSK is simple, it is widely used in existing technologies like wireless LAN and radio frequency identification. After describing the principle of analog and digital modulation, I decided to generate AM, FM, and PM with MATLAB. The MATLAB code I used is available online, and I will provide the links on e-learning website. Modulation is so important that it is an indispensable step in wireless communication. Essentially speaking, modulation is a shift of message waves frequency spectrum. We need to use low-frequency message signal to modulate high-frequency carrier signal. Generally, the carrier signal is sinusoidal and it has only three elements: amplitude, frequency, and phase. As a result, in modulation procedure, we need to pay attention to how to change these three elements so that the carrier wave can perform the characteristics of a message wave. Then, we create many methods as below: AM, FM, PM, ASK, PSK, FSK, and so on. Each method has unique merits and defects. According to these merits and defects, we apply different methods in different occasions. For instance, AM is widely used in medium wave radio, while FM is widely applied in shortwave radio. By using MATLAB, we can easily simulate and realize all kinds of modulation methods and obtain a deep understanding of modulation. Thanks for your valuable time and attention. That's all my project.